What a bro crew. You know the vibes.
Biatch.
We got the front court.
Say that too loud because
Mum's in my head.
yeah, Mum's in my ear me still. Have to keep that on the low.
We got the front court here. You know the vibes. Nicholas K.
Jeez, I even forgot my tag. It's been so long.
Fam, you got because you're in a new area now. You're in Italia now, so you might
I
have
got to change it to the EU. It's no longer the
Euroleague Joe,
man. I go by Tony now, bro. I go by Eurobasket Tony. You get me? That's the new tag.
That's the vibe.
I had to switch up the location.
Hey,
Who you be, Cam? Who you be?
It's Cam, aka Mr. AKA the man in the middle. Let's run it.
Yes, sir. What are we talking about today, lads? Gentlemen, we are if anyone doesn't know, we are in lockdown 3 over here in London.
Yes.
It's pretty much the same case in Italy.
It's lockdown sign in Italy, man. It's lockdown, bro. It's just lockdown.
Some sort of number. And obviously, COVID is still around.
Indeed. It has not left.
First and foremost, Happy New Year to everyone, man.
Oh, yeah, done. That's big fact.
Now, big man thing, we survived it. It was a strange year. This year is already stranger. But we're still out here.
We're still here. Yes, and we're still here talking balls. So, COVID's in the NBA, lads, and
it's rampant.
It's peak. Anyone watch last night's game? 76ers. They had Dwight Howard as point guard.
Did they actually play him as PG? Because I didn't manage to catch
he ran a couple plays.
He was running a couple. He was bringing the ball up, man. He was bringing the ball up.
Trust the vets, man.
So obviously the question.
Time to be alive, man.
So there's a question mark in the league right now, guys. So I'm asking you. What's your thoughts, man? What's your thoughts?
What's the question?
76ers obviously showed a clear example of how this is literally affecting teams. They had 7 to 9 available players.
Yeah.
And that's just peak. I'm not a Sixers fan, so I have no sympathy right now. But if that was to happen to my Lakers, boy.
Yeah.
And it very well could happen to the Lakers.
It takes one player to get it. And it's like with the Lakers, it was last week when they weren't playing Caruso and they were saying it's quarantine and sign. Mm-hmm. And I was like, bro, what do you mean quarantine and sign? If he's got it, he's got it. He can't be around it. Just keep him away in it. Yeah. And then I realized how volatile the situation was, and it's just escalated pretty quickly. The video of Tatum, that bloody Celtic Tatum, hugging Beal and doing all of that cuddly stuff.
Right.
The optics of the NBA have been very interesting because it's like everywhere else is like social distancing. You keep your distance. You can't touch hands. You can't do this. But man are setting screens and that. And it's a contact.
Man are exchanging chest sweat.
Yeah.
Chest sweat.
Ball sweat. Pause.
The basketball is going from hand to hand to hand. You get me?
Yeah.
Man are doing the lick my hand before I shoot the free throw thing.
Yeah.
It's mad out there.
Nah, it's big facts.
It's crazy.
It's big facts.
You gotta change your free throw routine. If I see anyone licking their hands before taking a free throw, I'm
Marcus not doing that, bro. Marcus was doing all of that.
Yeah. You got Steph Curry with the gum shield, like that's just splashing everywhere.
Keep that shit in your mouth.
Boy.
Get it in your mouth.
It was very, to begin with, it was quite interesting because the NBA did a fantastic job with the bubble because the bubble was isolated.
Yes. It was controlled.
It was such a controlled environment. There wasn't anyone coming in and out of there except when the wives and girlfriends came in after the Black Lives Matter thing. But there wasn't any other traffic. It's impossible to control the traffic. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's impossible. So I thought it was going to be a matter of time. Obviously, they had to get the Christmas games in.
And they're saying, I read a report that was basically a deal that the NBA made with the devil starting the league again around Christmas. Because obviously that's a very busy time in terms of, being with your family and friends and then coming to play ball. And that's been the reason that there's been so many positive cases so far.
Okay, so screw it, it's Christmas, and you start dapping up Auntie's hands. Little, Auntie Anne has been coffee for the last 10 days, and What I thought was crazy.
Too long, man.
What I thought was crazy, especially about the Sixers situation, is that Seth Curry got his COVID results back mid-game.
Oh, I did not know that.
Indeed. So this guy got his.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
So can we say it's a mismanagement on the part of the NBA? Because frankly, before you step foot on the court, you should have your test and you should be cleared. In my eyes, if you want to avoid something like this,
bro, I think before you even get in that arena, bro, like, but this is what's so difficult about it, because there's games going on back to back. Even if they've tried to space out the scheduling and try to cut down the travel, if you play a game now and then you play a game 20 hours from now, and you've interacted with not just the other players from the other team, but the arena staff and like whoever, do you know what I mean? It's almost impossible to keep track of that. There was just like the notion of someone playing their 10 minutes on the court to start the game and then going onto the bench and putting on a mask for like 5 minutes and having to wear the mask. It just didn't make any sense. Like it's
and they be taking it off all the time anyway.
Like
to
Steve
shout
Nash is
and
out
to
there. Steve Nash is out there hollering. You know,
it doesn't make any
like,
sense. You see them in the huddle and like half of them have got a mask on, half of them don't.
Yeah.
What about if they implemented something like what the NCAA is doing and make them wear masks on the court?
What, whilst balling?
Whilst balling. The college players are wearing masks.
Are they? I haven't been watching college ball.
Yeah, the other basketball leagues are wearing masks and playing on the court.
I haven't. I need to watch that. In fact, let me watch it now.
You might run out of breath after 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah,
if you got a full roster of people, that ain't a problem.
I was gonna say, if I'm like, that's asking a whole lot of those players. I mean, and you're sweating on that, and it's just uncomfortable, bro. Like, it's uncomfortable to watch as a fan. Although I'm very, very grateful for these guys to go out there and like put on a show for us every other night. It's very unsettling knowing how real this thing is and how much the league is willing to like put aside health and safety concerns just to get a couple games in. Do you know what I mean? It's unsettling. It's unsettling. The speed that it escalates at is what's really, really got me. Like, we saw the Sixers last night and how quickly that just went to shit.
I didn't know how serious. I didn't know it was that, they brought in the whole contact tracing thing, which I found out, which is just, they pretty much just ask the players, once someone gets positive, you ask your teammate, whatever, was you with him here? Did you go there? And that's when they find out. But I didn't know that if you come back positive from the contact tracing, that's like 7 days out. Like, you might have just walked in the same room and you're still negative. But you just walked into the same room because they found out from contact tracing, and then boom, you're out 7 days. Like, that is going to really affect the league.
And fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
And fantasy. Bring up my fantasy owners out there, man. I feel you, man.
This is why this topic, for the listeners and viewers at home, this is why this topic is extremely personal to us this year.
Yeah.
It's because we got big bucks riding on our fantasy leagues.
We're affected right now. We're affected.
We're stressing.
When I saw Tatum out 7 to 14 days, when he's been putting up 35 points a night, my heart was serenading me, boy. Oh man, but it's hard. It's hard to expect those guys to do that again, to do the whole bubble thing again. I felt like the players themselves weren't necessarily comfortable restarting when they did. I felt like the league really, 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 really accelerated it way too much. Do you know what I mean? I know the NBA can't miss Christmas, but I thought it was so ridiculous for it to just be like an 80-day turnaround from the last game of the finals to the next. Not just because of the health and safety concerns, but also like the quality of the game has been. The first couple games felt like preseason games. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
very much.
You can see these guys trying to get back up to speed, and it's not the same quality. It's not the same feel. Fans are dearly missed, obviously, but you can't have fans in arenas when like players are going down like flies now. So it's a valiant effort by the NBA to try and do this thing and do it properly. But man, like, this COVID thing is taking no prisoners, bro. Yeah. Like, you spud your guy, you know what I mean? You haven't seen this guy in a couple months and you just want to give him a little 1-2, and you're done. That's it.
And then that's it. So my question is then, obviously vaccines are coming out. but they're already out. It's happening. It's happening as we speak.
Indeed.
Should the NBA postpone or cancel the season, or do you feel like they have it under control? I'll start. I'll say let's postpone it. Should definitely happen, but not yet. I think if we get more.
What's your line for postponing it? Why not yet?
My line is if we have like multiple teams with literally like, because if it goes on like this, it will happen. But I think multiple teams with the 7 available players. If it just comes to a point where it just feels like this is ridiculous. At the moment, I can't say it's ridiculous. At the moment, I just feel like man, that's sad. But it's not ridiculous yet.
Bro, I personally feel like, as a Laker fan, if we had played against that Sixers roster that was starting names that we had never seen before, that's a significant competitive disadvantage. Once you start skewing rosters like that and having to draw in G Leaguers and like minimum contracts, it's done. It's done. It's done out here.
I think once we see us, well, hopefully not, but if we see our stars, the bring-ins, the Giannis's, the Lucas and all of them, man, if them men start to go out, start to quarantine, then I think the league will definitely think
I have an interesting suggestion.
Talk about it.
Okay. So what about if we take, so we know when so we've got our schedule already. Why don't we factor in a certain number of missed games? So rather than doing like contact tracing, we cancel certain games. So games where, for example, 5+ players are missing time, we should pause those games and make something like a game cap. So we know that this season has 72 games. Why don't we make a 50-game game cap and say by May, end of May, for example, every team can play up to 60 games or 57 games. If you hit your cap, you stop playing games. And then after that May period, we set a little calculated amount of time in which we can have players isolate and then have a play-in tournament for the final playoff spots.
Yes.
Something like that. What do you think about that? Because that means that players can miss time. And if a team, and we can try and get to the point where everyone's played a similar number of games.
That's the biggest thing, right? Like that's the biggest thing, trying to give everyone an equal chance. But that in itself is like, it's just the risks that's being taken at this point with the players' health, and like seeing the numbers outside of the league, just the numbers in general, just start to balloon again. I think is quite concerning for everyone. To pretend that the league exists outside of real life is quite irresponsible, I think. At this point, as soon as Philadelphia and their 7 players couldn't play, and the coaches are talking about, like this is like I have to play a game in 48 hours. I think the league is at the table right now, seeing how quickly they can.
They have to
shut it down and then get it back up. Maybe in another bubble environment, if possible.
Yeah.
But it's the exposure to the rest of society that's really doing it in with these people, man. Like.
It's quite relative as well, right? Because you got guys who are still getting on, for example, for us, on the London Underground, coming into contact with 100, 200, 300 people before they even get to work, because they got to go to, I don't know, work at a construction site, work at a hospital, work at a wherever. So as an NBA player, you are bumping into your staff, you are bumping into your coaching, and you're bumping into your team members. Front of house. It should be and can be responsibly managed if people are being responsible.
Yeah, but that's too many people. So
it is a lot of. But I mean, even
Harden was out here throwing bands 2 weeks ago.
So yeah,
well, a barbershop, right?
At the end of the day, it's all money, right? So these guys are going to do every single thing they can to not cancel the league. From a health standpoint, why not?
All right.
As in, people's health should be hurt. But yeah, alas.